What's going on, Spurs family? Welcome to this week's Power 5 player rankings. This week gave me a lot of tough choices. Well, not a lot of tough choices, but I mean, that's an exaggeration. But it was difficult to make decisions this week, but I came down with the right Power 5. Now, for those who's new, this is based off consistency. So you can do good one week at the number 2 spot or fantastic at the number 2 spot. But if the number one spot, if the number player in the number 1 spot has an off week or a bad week or an average week, but the number 2 player in the number 2 position plays fantastic, then they move up on that list at the number 1 spot, and the player at the number 1 spot drops to the number 2 spot. So it's based off consistency. So let's jump into it. Number 5 is Jeremy Sohan. Again, I was almost a prisoner of the moment. I was about to give the number 5 spot to Charles Bassey, but again, this is based off consistency, which you've been doing over the weeks. And so, I tell you this: if Charles Bassey continue to play how he's playing, then I mean, he might snatch that 5th spot. But so far, Jeremy Sohan, he does so much for us. He makes things easier for us on defense. He can guard multiple positions, y'all know. But I like how he runs the floor. I'm not really looking at his offensive side of the ball, but I do like to see him improve his rebounding. I like to see him around 6 or 7 rebounds. But he did get 7 rebounds his last outing. So this week he averaged 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 61% from the field, and 16% from the 3-point line. But I'm not really looking at him for his 3-point shooting. Number 4, Tre Jones. I always say this. I'm going to say this in every video. He's the most important player on our team, not only because we don't have a backup point guard, but how he's under control. He knows how to use his pace. He's a solid player. I wish he shoot the ball more. My only criticism of him is he get a lot of open shots, but he kind of turns it down and kind of drives into the lane instead of taking the open shot. I believe he should let the ball fly a little bit more. But for this week, he put up 13 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 51% from the field, and 42% from the 3-point line. So this is where, again, I had another decision to make. But at number 3, I had to go with Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl for this week, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 73% from the field, and 80% from the free throw line. That's big. He was shooting 80% this week. So it's big. And I had a difficult choice, but like I said, our number 2 is Devin Vassell. The last 2 weeks, he's been playing phenomenal. So Poeltl usually have that number 2. He had that number 2 spot locked down for a few weeks, but Devin Vassell has been balling out of control lately. And for this week, he averaged 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 43% from the field, and 36% from the 3-point line. Devin Vassell, I just like the way he played the game. He's smooth. He's balanced. He knows what he's doing out there, and also he's starting to be an initiator on offense. That's something probably because we don't have a backup point guard. But seeing him with the ball in his hand, initiating the offense, I think if he does that all year, it could be it's a bad thing we don't have a backup point guard, but it could be a good thing because now Vassell can develop that part of his game of initiating the offenses more often. So I'm liking what I'm seeing for Devin Vassell. I hope it continues to be that way. I hope it continues to be on the up and up. Number 1, Keldon Johnson. He just he's just the energy, the spark, the leader. He just loved. You can tell he loved to play the game. You can tell that he loves to play with this group of players. He loved the system. Man, the way he's developing, it's amazing. When we drafted him, I knew we got a good player, but I didn't expect that we will get a player like this. But for this week, he averaged 25 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 48% from the field, and 44% from the 3-point line. He's just been our main man ever since the season started. He took leadership now that he was going to be the vocal point of this offense. Well, I don't pretty think anybody's the vocal point of the offense, but he's one of our main guys, and he stepped up. He really stepped up. He stepped up in a big way, and Devin Vassell also stepped up as well. Devin Vassell had averaged around 12 points last season, and I was like, we need him to score at least 17 points, and he surpassed that with flying colors. So these players are developing well. Like I said, we have a bright future, and I can't wait to see what happens next with this team. So there you have it. That's my Power 5 player rankings. Peace and blessings.